I love the TV show, The Unit. It's not on anymore, but I don't know if any of you watched The Unit back in the day. And it was a special forces team, and every episode they'd go out, fight a little battle, they'd come back, and it was grand, an hour long, so not very realistic, but still it's cool. One of the episodes, they're preparing to go fight one of their enemies on a mission they're going on. And one of the soldiers turns to his friends, he said, the sooner I know if I'm going to die in battle, the sooner I know if I'm going to make my wife a widow, the sooner she can start dating. And I like that line, because he doesn't want to, he's not eager to see his wife, dating other men. He's not eager to die. He knows the consequences. He said, let's get in this battle. I know I may die, but let's get in this battle. I don't care what the consequences are. I'm going to win, or I'm going to die trying. And so that's what we need to have, when we're in our battles. And I'm hoping that you guys aren't up against something that, is leading to certain physical death if you fail. These are some extreme examples, but we are definitely up against circumstances that make us feel a little bit lower and can definitely hurt our pride. And so I'm just going to ask, are you ready to carry your shield to the battle? Are you mentally prepared to fight that fight that is ahead of you? The movie says, only the hard, only the strong. Only the heart and spirit. Okay, that's us. God does not call us to be weak. Only the hard, only the strong. God doesn't empower us so that we will ease through life unobstructed. We're going to face battles. When we're facing battles, that means we're doing something right. We have to be hard in spirit. We have to be strong in mind. It's just not something that you can say up here, I'm going to do, and then walk away anymore. Be hard in spirit, be strong in mind. I talked earlier about some defeats. How to face that, preparing for failure. Your no joy moments, those things that you're up against. In Judges 20, I was just reading this recently. It's so cool that, maybe this is why we waited. I like this story personally. This is preparing for setbacks. I'll tell you what, the Israelites facing major setbacks. In Judges 20, the Israelites are up against the Benjamites, former allies, now fighting each other. Israel brought 400,000 experienced warriors. So these are good men. These guys know what they're doing on the train for battle. And they're fighting the Benjamite opponent, which is 26,000 armed men. You got experienced men versus armed men. There's a difference there. So day one, the Israelites go in, and it was 22,000 men right off the bat. 22,000 men, nearly the size of the entire opposing army. They lost in the day's battle. And so they go home that night, or back to their camp, and they're crying, and they're like, what are we doing here? And they go to God. Okay, God, we thought you wanted us to take this battle. What do we do? God says fight. So day two rolls around. And they listen to God. And they go into battle, they lose 18,000 men. So now in the span of 2 days, 40,000 dead Israelite soldiers. They're weeping. They're back at camp. They're coming to God again. This doesn't make sense. I thought I was supposed to fight. You told us to fight, God. And yet here we are suffering some major losses. What do we do? And God says, fight. Fight. So, they go to battle. And I'm sure they're probably thinking, how many are we going to lose today? God's already told us twice to fight. We're losing men left and right. Twice the size of the other army now. We're devastated. This is a common feeling that I think we can feel when we're taking action against our enemy. Satan is not going down easily. He's not going to just give up because God tells us to fight, and we leave him and choose to fight. Satan's going to ramp up that action against us. And we're going to feel some losses. We're going to feel some personal defeats. We are going to feel like we are just, dogs on the side of the highway that just got run over by a semi and they're still breathing. And it's going to hurt. And you got to wonder, at the end of the day, is this worth it? Is this fight, is this battle I'm up against, is this worth it? Because where's the end result, God? I'm not seeing that. I wish I knew what I was up against here, God. I wish I could just have that, crystal ball and you could tell me how it's going to end, because then the fight would at least feel like it was worthwhile. We don't get that kind of clarity, but that perseverance does pay off. So day 3, the Israelites are like, all right, we're down 40,000. God told us to do this. We're going to do it. So they start, and they lose 30 Israelites right off the bat. 30 more dead. I can bet in that moment they're thinking, let's just, let's pull camp, let's get out of here. Let's just give up. But they didn't. They knew the call of God. They didn't let the lies of what they could have been feeling at that moment, the strongholds they were up against, to defeat them. Instead, they pursued that enemy. And at the end of the day, with their full obedience to God, they pushed ahead, they fought, they had victory. And they slaughtered the enemy army. But they won. They took the enemy, they faced that enemy, and the thing is they faced an equally prepared enemy. They were not up against a simple, menial opponent. Neither were we. Our opponent is strong. God heard their prayers, He heard their cries, and He answered them. And in Romans, all right, overwhelming victory is ours through Christ who loved us. When we fight, we get victory. Exodus 14:14. It's a little different, but I like this one because it plays into the quiet time that we have to have. The Lord will fight for you. You only have to be silent. That battle is this battle. When God is saying, I'm going to fight for you, be silent, He's saying, sit down, read your Bible, pray, take some of these strategies you're learning on how to fight your battle. Be quiet and listen for